about you, it's not about me, it's about we, and God we trust. Sir Rod and Lady Z, PTP. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's People to People with Rodney Grimes. Y'all already know how we do. Here we are in the DMV. This is the podcast of the DMV, making things happen. I'm always excited when I come down. I say this every time I get on because I'm always excited. You know, it's all about us bringing truth, reality. We bring people in that's going to be telling you their story, their life story, things that make a difference in their life that can make a difference in yours. This is what excites me about this podcast. So, for everybody just tuning in with me, let me tell you something. I always try to make sure I bring people that have a story to tell you that's going to put you at the edge of the seat. Or not only just that, but I'm talking about that they have changed their lives in ways that can help you to find your dreams and your goals to succeed. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce this brother because even though I'm going to kind of be going in and out on some things, but we've been having a powerful conversation, so I'm getting him right on the air. I'd like to welcome the brother Khalid Karim. Khalid.
Yes, sir.
Khalid. Welcome, 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 bro. Peace and blessings, man.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings.
So you're a little soft spoken a little bit, so you're gonna talk a little loud, so because I want them to hear your voice, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Will do.
So, man, first of all, man, this is an opportunity for you to really tell what you do in the community. You are a community activist, a real one, and we have a lot of people that do some things. But I'm not going to try to build your platform or your title, or I want you to tell people. Tell a little bit about yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm a DC native, born and raised in Washington, DC, southeast state of Northwest. But I've stayed in a few other places: Maryland, Alexandria, Arlington, even St. Croix, the Virgin Islands. Came from, the typical broken home, father, mother got divorced when I was young, father remarried, had more children, divorced, and, the kind of the downfall and the break of the family kind of led to a lot of confusion and frustration for me. Went to St. Croix with my father back in '86, came back up in '87 and stayed with my mother and three of my brothers, and kind of things went downhill from there. I went to school, started kind of getting in trouble, did a couple of little juvenile stints, for some minor charges, and then, wound up incarcerated for 25 years for some more serious charges. And, while I was inside, I took it seriously. Took me a second to do that. But I started taking life seriously a little more, really because of the birth of my first niece. Started reading more, started, getting in programs and what have you. Became a mentor, tutored people in school, in prison, and just started to do a lot. Became, serious about life and my role in life, and eventually I made it home. Since I've been home, I've spoken at four juvenile detention centers, 2 jails, one in Chesterfield, one in DC jail. I've done a few seminars. I've helped out with a few seminars, and for 3.5 years, one of the things I'm most proud of is I've volunteered in Potomac Gardens. I was invited over there by a great organization called Brothers Huddle, by Brother Frank Muhammad, Brother Karim, and they invited me over there about 3 years ago, and I haven't left. I've been over there once a week, twice a week, talking to the youngins, playing football with the youngins, teaching a couple of them how to play chess, just walking with them, mentoring them, taking them on trips. There's 2 mothers over there that are real phenomenal, Miss Courtney and Miss Danielle, man. These sisters, they embrace embraced me, and I've done the same, and they've been tremendous help for me being embraced over there. And so that's what I do. On Fridays, I go over there. Every other Friday, I actually have the larger rec, and we do a lot of painting. We do a lot of arts and crafts. We do games. Sometimes we have trivial nights. I feed them. I come out my own pockets for the last 3 years. I've gotten money twice from family and friends and people on Facebook that see the work that I'm doing. And, we give it back to the youth. We give it back to the youth. We've actually had the children clean up Potomac Gardens. I provide them bags and gloves and $5, and then they run around. Then it's the cutest thing because they come back showing me their bag. Like, I got the boat. And somebody, I've seen kids take other kids' trash. Like, leave my trash bag alone. Stop. Brother Khalid, he taking trash. But it warms my heart to see them smile.
Yeah.
It does something for my spirit to have them come to me. One of the little sisters, she grabbed my finger. She's a twin. She grabbed my finger and said, Brother Khalid, the boys don't listen to me. She's like 7 years old. And I said, why they don't listen to you? She said, I don't know. They just don't listen. And I said, well, it's okay. They might not listen today. They might listen tomorrow. But, I've broken fights up. I've seen them cry. I've held them. I've seen them throw up, little things. And I just want to do, not just for them, but I want to do for them because I see them every day. In my car right now, I have 3 belts because 3 of the youngers around there, they're like 10 years old. Their pants are sagging. So I bought 3 belts and I'm waiting to go over there Friday to take them to them, I just want to add to their lives because I know I owe for the mistakes I've made in life, for removing myself from society, my own family. I removed something valuable if I was doing my duty. And so because I know that, and I realize that I know I owe the community. And so I want to help Potomac Gardens. I want to help 37. I want to help Butler Gardens. And just any inner city youth or just youth period. I just want to tell them my story. Because it's a weighty story, it's typical, right? The difference is it's unique to me, and I'm honest enough to tell it in a manner that I'm not going to cut any cards. I did 25 years in prison, and my whole bit, certain family members supported me. My mother, my father was there, my whole bit, my aunts, and 2 months before I came home, my mother was found dead on a park bench. And that still weighs heavy. But I love that. I believe that if she can see me, and I believe she does.
Oh, she does. She does.
That she's smiling.
Oh, that's for sure, bro. Man, first of all, man, let me say, not just your mother, but I'm talking about me and all the other individuals that around you see what you're doing, man. Man, when I tell you you're a stand-up guy, bro, I mean, we ain't known each other that long, but I have nothing but the utmost respect for you. I listened to our conversation. We was chatting before we came on the air. Several things that you said that were so profound, and then you said something else that I'm gonna bring back to your attention. When you said that you felt like you owed the community because you got locked up, but bruh, you don't owe anybody. But what you're doing is from your heart.
Right.
You don't owe nobody. Right now, if anything, you probably owe yourself the opportunity to enjoy life at the level that you're doing it by doing the things that you are. So, no, you don't owe the community, but I take that with the utmost respect that you look at it that way. And we were talking about, earlier I asked you the question about, do you think the jails are a trap? Tell me your response to that.
I don't think the jails themselves are the trap. Jails are necessary. People committing crimes, we need a place to house them. I needed to be housed. I needed to be separated from society and taught a lesson. But I believe that the environments that our children are growing up in, as I say, I've been in a few projects since I've been out here, primarily Potomac Gardens, but I've traveled. I've been down in Richmond, in Creighton Court, in Mosby Court. This weekend I was down in Newport News and drove past Marshall Homes, right? And I'm looking at the screens falling off. I'm looking at the roofs for these buildings and these apartments. I'm looking at them like sink in. And I'm looking at the 2 corner stores and one is boarded up, and there's 4 or 5 youngins standing right in front of a corner store that literally has one window, and the other windows to the older store covered up. And I just see 4 youngins, and they look like they're 12. And across the street is Marshall Homes, and I'm like, that's where I was. You know, looking at the project, trying to find pride in it. You know, I'm from Marshall Courts, I'm from Marshall, I'm from Parkland, I'm from Shipley Terrace. You know, we take pride in the most foolish things because we don't have a lot to be proud of. You know, we you know, how can you be proud of a place that should have grass and it's dirt? How can you be proud of a place that there are dumpsters and rats are running around and that's where you play hide and seek? So you find, you force yourself to make pride in. It's like, and I say this honestly, people call themselves the N-word. They say nigga this, nigga that, and now it's a term of endearment. No, we accept it because we're tired of fighting against it.
Yeah.
You know, when the master called us that, we couldn't fight him. So we started to embrace it. Like, you know, even I remember I used to hear women call themselves B's. Like, you know, I'm a good B, but it's just because they don't want to argue against.
Right.
I'm not a B.
Right.
So it's like I'm gonna try to embrace it. So we embrace these environments, but you have mothers primarily raising these kids. The fathers have come in and out. Boyfriends coming in and out. The mothers are primarily raising the kids. They're trying to live. They want to find happiness. You know, they want to find somebody that's going to love them for them and the children they have. But sadly, the men are used to retreating. Mm-hmm. We're used to retreating, right? Mm-hmm. And so then you have the government entity, which is, we're not going to fix these places up. You all have dirtied them up. Yeah, but we didn't mess the pipes up under the ground. Y'all won't fix them. We didn't mess the sheetrock up. It's 30, 40 years old. You know, when they tore certain neighborhoods down recently, they found dead rats, mice, and in some areas, skeletons, right? That is a trap because that environment produces a certain mindset. Mm-hmm. It produces a dislike and a hate. And the children don't know how to tell mama, I don't like it over here. I go outside, the guy's taking my money. I go outside, they picking with me. They disrespecting me. They talking about you. I don't like that. We don't know how to tell our parents that. And then if we manage to tell our parents that, they say, go to school, come back home. Go outside, go to the park. Find a way around it, but it's right there. You know, it's right there.
That's, bruh, I'm sitting here, man, I'm like, I feel like I'm in a movie. I felt like I was in a movie just listening to you describe that. But that is so true. We looking at the struggle of our kids right now, and we want to know why they are out of control. But it's the environments. When, you know, if you have, like me, I grew up in an area where I was 2 blocks away from the projects, right? But I was in church a lot. I grew up on a block, man, that everybody's parents raised us. So, you know, the 500 block of Payne Street in Old Town Alexandria, man, was the block that from one end to the other, man, I could get a whooping. And sometimes if I saw one of the mothers carrying the bags in, we'd race to carry the bags in the house for her. That's right. Or if I was doing something wrong, one of the fathers would come out and say, you know better than that, Rodney, get your butt home. That's right. And I would have to go home and knew better than to say something back to him. But it was the environment. And most of us that came out of there, we came out of there with the blessing of respect. So I can understand when you was talking about that. Okay, so after you do 25 years, how are you able to put that behind you and find the forgiveness to be able to come out and give to people and not feel like somebody owed you for that 25 years?
That's a good question. Well, I never, when I first got locked up, I was young, you know, I was wild, and when asked by counselors, even some of the COs or guards that knew me, because I've always been reserved, right? So I didn't have the typical look of a violent guy, whatever that may look like to people. I've always looked reserved. You know, I might look serious. People say, you're always serious, you're always mad. And that's not the truth. It's just I just don't smile a lot, you know. So guards, COs, counselors, they would talk to me sometimes like, Karim, you know, you're a nice guy, you're a good guy. See that you do this, you pick trash, we talk to the guys. I've been breaking fights all my life because I'm a big brother. I only have one older brother. My other siblings are younger than me, and I took the job of big brother very seriously. You know, I babysit it, I volunteer. You know, mom, if you need me, let me know. You know, my brother, if they ask for money, I give them money. You know, I take them places sometimes. So when I failed, yeah, I told the counselors that I was, you know, raised in Southeast, and I went to 15 different schools by the time I was 15. I lived in the Virgin Islands because I was running, not myself, but I went with my father while he was running from the police. And, you know, my father got on crack cocaine, and my mother was an alcoholic. And my stepmother, you know what I'm saying, she did crack as well. And I was just all over the place. And that played a role in who I was, to be honest. Without passing the buck. But I didn't feel in my heart that anybody owed me. Now, as time went on, you know, you'll look for a sibling to write a little more. You may look for a cousin that grew up with you to write a little more. I might have looked for a couple of homeboys that I might have helped on the street or looked out for, write a little more. But in truth, I had support along the way. You know, sometimes these family members might write this year, and friends might write that year. A couple of people write this year, a couple of people write that year. So it wasn't that, you know, I didn't have support. So that part, specifically certain people I might have looked for letters from, visits from time to time. But I understand that I made my bed, so I laid in it, right? Society-wise, the only thing that I realized was it's not completely right for us as a people. I knew that. I mean, I could see that just riding through the city, riding through the places I've been. Then I had to be honest with myself, and I contributed to the silliness. So when I would look at the news as I was evolving in prison, I remember I was watching TV, and a guy in Richmond had the knockout game. Guys started doing that, knocking people out for fun. And I saw an older guy in Richmond, and both his eyes were black. And I'm mad. I'm like, man, why would they do that? You're old, dude. Man, you don't do that. That's weak. That's soft. Then I remember when I did it a couple times. I didn't hit anybody old, but I did that. And I got mad at me. You know, I remember when I've stolen bikes. You know, I've sold drugs, right? Yeah. So I just realized that it wasn't for me to come home and be a burden. T.D. Jakes said in one of his speeches, and I always quote it, he said, you could be a burden or you could be an asset. He said you could be an asset or a liability. And he broke down the difference. And I realized that I didn't want to come home a liability. I didn't want to come home and be the guy that lays on a woman's couch. I didn't want to be the guy that family members have to take care of. I didn't want to be the guy that comes home and I'm on TV for hurting another civilian, right? I wanted to be somebody I could be proud of. I used to look at football and basketball games and boxing matches. And when the guy get the trophy because he's leaving college and he's going to NFL, I look at his mom and them and they clap. Oh man. And I used to sit back and I ask myself, what have I done to make my mama proud of me? Yeah. So when I started accomplishing little things, in my opinion, I got my HVAC certification, my GED. When I was facilitating certain classes in prison, I would tell the people that love me, this is what I've done, because I wanted them to be proud of me. I wanted them to know I'm not wasting my time here playing cards and shooting the breeze. So I just knew that I had to come home and add to the positivity and not take away, you know. So that's what allowed me. Then my faith. I'm a man of God. I believe in God, and I just knew that by nature we good. We hold ourselves back from doing good. I've held doors open for people, and then there are times when someone might be 5 feet away, and you can tell somebody might want to hold, and they'll let it go, and they'll look off. Something in them told them hold it, but something else in them told them let it go. It ain't you. So I would rather listen to the divine inside of me when I do good, because it feels good. It feels like that's my purpose. You know, I feel better doing this than doing the wrong. When I did the wrong, you paranoid all day. Yeah. And you're hurting people along the way. Like when I got locked up, it wasn't just the victims of my case that were hurt. My own family was hurt. You know what I'm saying? Because they got to write. They got to visit. They got to spend $40, $50 to come visit you. They got to get shook down. They shake babies down coming to prison. A lot of young guys don't know that. Yeah. They would take a baby's shoes off and man, who wants to humiliate an infant like that? Right. You know what I mean? So I don't want to live that life and think it's okay to have people catering to me because they love me. And that's how I'm interpreting. They're catering. They coming through. They looking out. Nah, what I'm doing is, what am I doing? I'm burdening them. You know, so I just wanted to come home and be an asset. not a burden.
I went to visit one of my family members, my mother and my sister. We rode down, and it was such a dramatic situation for me because they had to search my mother, and here my mom at the time was in, might have been 87, 89 years old. Uh, how my mother looked like trying to sneak something in a prison. But they searched my mom, and literally, they put her in this machine. They made her take her shoes off. My mother could hardly even walk, bro. But they did that. And the thing that got me was, after we went through that process, it was about, I say, um, 3 or 4 townhouses length that I had to walk from one door to another and look up at this tower where this guard is up there with a rifle or a gun or whatever he's holding. Then go through this door. That door that you went through led to 2 more doors, right? So you go in there, the door completely shuts, and then the other door open. You get in there, and you still ain't in there yet. And then you wait, and once the inmate came down, then they let you through this other door that led to another door. I'm gonna tell you something. After I heard them doors, the clinging of it, each door I went through, it did something to me. It made me realize this is no place I want to be. And a lot of people don't understand the magnitude of the mental torment that it gives you and the humiliation of it. So for you to come home after doing 25 years, you be in the community, you're making a difference for young people, you're now changing their lives, man. I can only imagine some of the days that you lay down and think back on them 25 years and probably just say, man, do you still have that sense of control in your mind? Do you still have to deal with that?
Yeah, because it was so long. Like myself and a lot of other what they term returning citizens, we stay in touch. We check on each other, and I call it doing rounds. So I'll text guys, at least 2 or 3 guys a week. I text them. Now, what's up with you? How you doing? How you hold up? And we'll vent. I'll listen to them. Man, my girl, this, that, the other. My job, da 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 da. Man, and there's a common thread that it's a fight not to mess up.
Yeah.
You see, because someone who hasn't done time can argue without the fear of going back.
Right.
Now, they may fear the police pulling up and giving them a ticket or a citation or warning. We're almost subdued, right? We're almost subdued. And so it is a control. Like, we have to control ourselves, because I'm talking about to the extreme. When I came home, just like you spoke of earlier, respect was paramount when I was growing up. Like I said, yes sir or no sir to everybody. Yes ma'am and no ma'am. My father was in the Nation of Islam when I was born, my mother. So, respect was just paramount. And that's how I lived my life. I've carried bags. I remember when I was on 14th and Euclid, there was an older guy that we hung with named Pookie. And if we was in front of his building and my building was across the street, and somebody was walking up in that building, one of the older ladies with one of them little hand carts with groceries, you'd be like, man, go help her, man, go help her. I'd run over there, hold the key. If I was in Clifton Terrace, same thing, I sit there and I see my man Dwayne Mom, and we know the elevators are broken. There's 5 stories in the terrace, and you gotta walk all them bags upstairs, but you better do it, because the older guys, Tom and Wilbur, and they're gonna look at you like, man, don't you see it with them bags, Slim? Man, go help her with them bags, man. And so I remember those days. So when I went in, I carried it like that. And prison is a place where respect is pushed. I mean, to the extreme. Like, you can't suck your teeth at the wrong guy in there. Like, you can't play cards and talk slick to somebody you don't know. Because everybody has their guards up and everybody's looking to show you that they're not going to be victimized, right? So since I've been home, I've noticed that people talk any kind of way to one another. Like, I've been at the 7-Eleven and, Yes, ma'am. How you doing? Put your card in. Okay. Put it in. Swipe it again. Yes, ma'am. Swipe it again. Okay, hold on. Maybe it's dirty. And I'm like, the way you talking to me is like I done something to you.
Right.
You know, I don't know if the card is dirty. You don't
Right.
know my life in my
Right.
life, so you don't know what I'm struggling with.
Right.
You know, I've had encounters at a job that I worked where a guy like brushed me off, and I was just asking for instruction.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at him like, man, who you talking to?
Right.
You know, because in my mind, I'm like, man, I didn't earn my respect. You know what I mean? I don't know you, but
Right.
I didn't earn mine. Then I had to catch myself because that's how it is out here. You know,
Yeah.
and it's not just that. A lot of us, and I confer with a lot of returning citizens, we sit alone. You know, we sit alone a lot. Some guys don't like to be alone because they think about their stories and their lives, and some life was hard for a lot of guys. Me,
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about the typical what you hear about the raping. I didn't have to worry about it. I came in a fighter. But the worst part was the psychological. It was the getting the letters. Oh, grandma dead. Oh, Uncle Jerome dead. Aunt Cornell dead. Man, Aunt Terry dead. Man, cuz done passed. Man, your mom is in a mental hospital. Man, you know, we ain't heard from your dad. Man, some guys was looking for him. And da 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 da. You know, so yeah, it was a lot, and it still is.
Hello, caller. State your name and where you calling from. Welcome to People to People.
I'm people to people.
Oh, I was wondering if I was gonna get a phone call there, Miss Cookie. How you doing, baby?
Hey, hi, Khalid.
How you doing?
What's going on, baby?
Now, I have a question. This for Khalid, for folks that are coming, returning citizens. I know that there are a lot of challenges. Could you elaborate a little bit more on some of the challenges that y'all face coming home as returning citizens, and how y'all are treated, and coming back into life with that second chance, so people that can see that it's people change, and that it's fair to give y'all another second chance, another opportunity.
Right. And that's an excellent question. One of the difficulties that I know a lot of us have faced, although we have found employment, most of the guys I know are and have been employed. But some guys have gotten fired because it was found out that they were felons. Worked hard for 2 months, got patted on the back, recognized, and then, I see that you're a felon. Why did you go back through my file? I was doing everything I was supposed to do. Fired. Sorry, we can't have you here. A lot of guys have had to go through that. A lot of us are technologically behind. I have a laptop that stays under my bed for the last 2 years. I've had a couple of people willing to help me, and have showed me a couple of things. But certain things you got to show me a few times. And so a lot of us to this day use our phones for everything, but we're losing out because we don't understand the advancement, in technology. But employment is one of the biggest things, because even though the inner cities, so many people have been incarcerated. Like you go into the project and you tell a young man, I just did such amount of time. My uncle did time, my daddy did time. So it's not a shock to the inner city, but to the, I don't want to say the civilized world, to their civilization inside the projects in the inner city, but to those who don't or aren't real familiar with people and family members and friends being incarcerated and killed with that life, there's a stigma, and they will watch you, they will look at you funny, they're waiting for you to steal something, waiting for you to get angry. You can't even raise your voice with some people out here, because then they're gonna look at you like, wow, are you that angry? Are you like, man, people get road rage every day. You don't look at them funny, but
right.
Your boyfriend just cussed you out. You ain't mad at him, but because I did time, you're thinking I'm going to turn around and crush the entire world when I get angry.
Right.
So we're forced to literally sit down. I've talked to guys that say, man, I gotta walk out the house because that's been hurled at us. So employment is a difficult thing. Trying to find employment, and people that are willing to work with us, because prison, though it's necessary, does not force you to evolve. It does not. You can lay on your bunk your entire prison bit in most prisons. So If you come home without a trade, without a skill, you're illiterate, you can't write, and many people have come home like that, man, life is going to be extremely difficult for you. So, we, a lot of times we need resources. We need resources. To be honest with you, I'm having a difficulty with that now. I went to a couple of returning citizen large events recently, and I was told that because I wasn't living in DC, I'm like a block away, I wasn't living in DC, that I couldn't work for the mayor's office for returning citizens. And I know that's the DC mayor, but my volunteer work primarily is in DC. But I was told, nah. Then I went to another guy, I was ushered to a guy in Maryland for an organization, and he told me because I was not a Christian, he couldn't work with me, and I say, I'm a man of God, I believe in faith, and I know, he said, man, that's what, and I'm not knocking him, but that's what I was told and hurt, because that might have been a place I could help or help me. So, we run into a whole lot of issues and a lot of stumbling blocks.
It's really ironic that we have so many people where they'll be judging you when they're not in position to do so. And they don't understand when you come and be honest and say, hey, I did 25 years behind bars. That's a transition in itself that you have to deal with every day. That for anybody who haven't been incarcerated, they don't understand your mental battle with yourself.
That's right.
That's on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
Which does not make you a maniac. In some cases, it'll make you more stable than they are. Because you have to be more conscious of your control when they've been walking around la-di-da all day long thinking they can say what they want to anybody, do it when they want, and don't really get any repercussions.
Right.
But knowing that if they was put in a position where you were, they'd have got their head peeled.
True.
You see?
True. So
a lot of people don't understand that. But again, for you to be able to come home and to give back to the community, man, I really appreciate that. So what I would like for you to do, tell people what is it that they could do to help you? What is it that they could do? How would they get in touch with you? What is it that would make what you doing, giving back to the community, easy? What could we do? What could we contribute to you?
Resources. I don't require anything personally. Maybe that's my pride. But the kids, they need people who are willing to just show up for a few minutes. Just talk to them. I met a brother who was in the NBA recently. Wrote a book called Cool Cat, and he played across seas, but he was on the roster when they were doing the voting, I guess, in the NBA with Kobe and all of them. He just, got in a little trouble when he went across seas. Got into trouble. I think he did a couple months, and he wrote a children's book using traveling the world in basketball. So I spoke to him, and he said he's willing to come out. But the kids, when I was a child, we looked on TV and we saw celebrities, and there are a lot of celebrities in DC.
Yeah.
In DC, and since I've been home, very few of them voluntarily go into these neighborhoods, and show and tell their story. Now, some will go to schools, and that's all right, but some charge, and that's okay too in those environments. If the school has a stipend, they can give you a couple hundred, okay, but don't let the fact that someone doesn't have the money to give you stop you from doing some volunteer work, because like you said, what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
If you put good in the universe, then it's gonna come back. God gonna bless you. So me, like honestly, I'm looking for an evening job to supplement some of the money, because I come out my pockets. Like I'm when I say.
So say like it this. Say if it's somebody out there that's looking at the program right now, and they wanted to send you some book bags or tennis shoes or something like that. How would they get that to you?
They can contact me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram as well. Khalid, Karim, my name. And if you text me or reach out to me, I'll reach back. I've had a lot of people donate. I mean, honestly, I was talking to a guy I grew up with. He owns a construction company in DC, and my parents got married in his house. A guy named Saud Nash, Saud Jabali Nash. He owns HEP Construction on Good Hope Road. That was my first job when I came home. And I saw him the other day. I said, man, I came over here to see Mom and Bob, his parents. And I said, I donate food or whatever. I help with the food distribution. This organization, Incarcerated Lives Matter Virginia. And I said, sometime I'm able to, get some food. I said, I'm going to bring some food, God willing, Saturday. He said, okay. So we're talking, and he said the same. He said, you're doing a lot. He said, man, I'll cut the check. The younger league basketballs, footballs. So I smiled like, nah, I'm all right. He said, man, listen, it's for the kids. Don't let your pride stop you. And I had to remember that because it's not that I don't want help, right?
Right.
It's just that you've heard people use stuff against you over time.
Yeah. And
you like, I don't want to hit it. I did this for them. But in truth, you're not doing it for me. You're doing it for the kids. So if you reach out to me, if you want to, give book bags, like I say, I bought toys. One of the mothers in Potomac Gardens, Courtney, she's bought toys. Matter of fact, she was one of the ones that had the idea of getting footballs and toys again, because you'll see a soccer ball, it'll get popped. You won't see that no more.
What's the age range that you looking to receive things?
Deal with anywhere from 5 to 15, because that's usually who I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with the little ones. I bought them things. We bought them things. The paint, they love it. Little things, toys, clothes. We bought clothes over there. People have donated clothes. Different organizations have done things or reached out and said, Brother Khalid, what do you need? And I've told them, man, couple books. And they sent a couple books, and one of the mothers read some of the books. So yeah, people can reach out to me, if it's one of those things where, you need proof, I take pictures of everything. I give you a receipt,
or they can come sit in with you.
They can come sit in, and that's valuable, especially with what we talked about earlier, those who have reached a level of accomplishment. It doesn't mean you have to be big. I told Saud, I said, man, you own a construction company. I said, I want to bring you over. Some of the kids' hair looked kind of wild. I asked a sister named Sadira. She's a licensed barber down in Woodbridge, my cousin's friend, and I asked her would she come through, and I would pay her. So I picked her up, I brought her, she cut like 8 heads. Took her back home, tried to send her some money. She said, I'm all right. I enjoyed seeing him smile. And I'm grateful. So
we got to figure out, that's part of what I talked about earlier. I want to say this publicly, that you have the option. I would like to see you make it where we can bring some of the kids in here and they can talk about some of the things that you do. I want the kids to be able to sit down and see what it's like to be interviewed and be in a position to say, hey, I was in the studio. Do you have a telephone number they can reach?
Yes, sir. 202-491-2275. 202-491-2275. And I look forward, to hearing from anybody that's willing to contribute or help with the youth. On the 16th of July, we're trying to take about 20, if not a little more, kids to the zoo. It's free, but we're looking to make some bags and put snacks in the bag, because zoo food costs money.
Yeah.
So we can load the bags up with some juices, some natural juices, some fruits and vegetables, and maybe a couple of bags of chips or whatever, sandwiches. And that's what we love to do. Because I've talked to the kids. I asked probably about 15 of them who's been to the zoo. I'm not exaggerating. Only 4 hands went up. Now I will say, as wild as my childhood was, my father and my mother, separately, took us to the zoo on a regular. We lived by the zoo, so my mother, that was just a walk away. My father, wherever we lived, took us to the zoo because he loved nature. Yeah. So a lot of us, my siblings and I, to this day, no matter what, we still have a fondness for nature. We love going to the woods. We love going to the streams and the parks and the lakes and the rivers. Last year, we took a few of the kids from Potomac Gardens. We took them to Corsica Park. They had never been out there. All the locals was out there. They running around. They saw turtles crawling into the pond. They just felt free. They were running, and they just enjoyed it. They enjoyed it. Because when I say that, on a good day, you will see the kids playing hide and seek or running around beside 4, 5, 6 dumpsters where rats are literally running past their feet. It bothers me. It really bothers me, man, and I want to get them out
So
of that environment.
Yes, just give them something to smile about in the morning or something to think about. And when they see you, they can ask you, where we going next? You know,
That's
and
right.
have that
That's right.
excitement.
That's right.
What I'm going to do here again, I want to take this opportunity to say on July 23rd, we are doing a networking event here in Tyson's Corner at 1934 Old Gallows Road. It's gonna be between 2 and 6, and I'm just getting ready to figure out how. What I would like to do is see if I can manage to get the name of your organization and have a box that we can ask everybody to bring one item up here to put in the box to give to a kid. So I think that would be something that we could look forward to. So I want you to remind me, and we're gonna put that as, because you're gonna be here.
Yes, sir.
And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and design the box. Matter of fact, I will wait until we get it because I want it, either it's gonna be a box or a big trash bag to be able to put in, but I wanna ask everybody to come. I don't care what you bring. I don't care if it's a toothbrush or if it's a pair of tennis shoes you just bought or a pair of shorts, but we talking about from between the age of from 5, 6, 7 to 15, 16, 17 years old. And that's going to be something that we want to do coming from people to people, outside of the fact that we want you to invite some kids to come up at your leisure time. You let me know. We do Motivation Monday, we do Let's Talk About It Wednesday, and we do date night. But for you, I don't care what day it is. You tell me when, and whatever is convenient for you to get the kids up, we can do a special. If we gotta do it on a Saturday, if we gotta do it on a Tuesday or Wednesday, I want that to happen.
Yes.
We also, we have other programs that go on through the studio, but I want to find a way that we're gonna start to give back as well. Cause a lot of times I got my hand out asking people to help the podcast.
Right.
Okay, yeah, and I want to support, but we wanna be a support as well. We wanna be there and do that. So that's what I would like to do. So one, again, you was here at the last networking event.
Yes, sir.
And you saw that. It was a nice turnout.
It was beautiful. I mean, and I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to the next one. I actually have, a couple of people that I'll mention to you that are doing some great work, a couple of authors.
Okay.
And good people, good spirits. And I believe they'll be, a valuable asset to the family, you know what I'm saying, the people family, because I spoke highly of. I said, man, I said the brother didn't know me except through Demetria, and I said, he shook my hand. I said he paused, he waited, he talked to me for a second. I said he didn't ignore me. Some people brush you off. I said he saw me in the hallway, stopped again, man, glad you're here. And I said, it just felt good. So when you put up the Cash App thing, I was the first to let me go ahead and put some money there.
Yeah.
Because you thanked everybody. That means gratitude. When people ask me about prison and they ask me what made me grow, what made me change from who I was, I honestly, it's usually 4 words that come to my mind. But gratitude is the first. Because we say thank you when people do us something solid, when people do us a favor. Thank you, I appreciate you. But appreciation is an action. So outside of saying it, I gotta show it.
Yeah.
So if you offer me a cup of coffee, then I say thank you, but my head is moving. I'm humble. Let me throw it away. Let me wash it.
Yeah.
I gotta show it.
Yeah.
So I used to sit back in prison. I'm like, how can I tell my family I appreciate them for writing, or visiting, or picking up the phone, or sending money for canteen, or doing whatever they could, keeping my name alive. Wearing shirts that might have said my name on it, having pictures on the wall. Like, how can I thank them? Because words aren't enough. The Bible says in the beginning was the Word, but the Word became flesh, right? So when I saw you thanking everybody, you calling people up, you thanking them, and you checking yourself like, I gotta get somebody else up here, but I want to thank. I could tell it was from a humble heart, and I told Demetria that. I said, man, I can tell the brother good. I just met another brother named Kenny who's like that, like a real grateful person.
Yeah. And
people like that stand out to me because people that know me know I say thank you to every. I will take up a lot of time just thanking people. In any interview, I'll shout out, okay, because I can't forget those that impacted my life some way or another, especially large impact. So now the event was beautiful. it was comfortable. It had a family feel to it, and like I said, I'm looking forward to the next one. Yes, sir.
So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure that um, the name of your organization.
Lessons learned by Khalid. Yeah, lessons learned. I have a YouTube channel. Well, it's called Lessons Learned by Khalid. Karim 75 is on YouTube, and I'm talking about, of course, prison stories, but not just that. Lessons I'm learning every day.
Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that we put that on the flyer, and we're gonna ask people to bring a gift, something that's for a child. I don't care if it's a book bag, it could be a set of pens, but we're gonna definitely put that so that that's gonna be something that you're gonna be able to talk about that day, because we're gonna be doing live interviews, so we can be able to talk about it and be able to present that to you. Do we have any questions? Oh, what is it you wanted to
No, I
ask?
wanted him to repeat the website, but
Okay. Oh, let me get this. Hello, callers. Please state your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, people to people.
Demetrius, how you doing, baby?
I'm good. I just wanted to say this really quick because I have worked with Khalid that, he doesn't get enough recognition, and all of the work that he's doing with the youth is one of a kind. So any viewer that is watching this, I just highly recommend that you go follow Khalid's page and see some of the awesome work that he is doing. And if you are able to contribute to his cause, please do so. He's just, personally for me, just looking and him inviting me in because he's very protective over the kids in Potomac Guards. And so it's been an honor to work with him. But he is doing some phenomenal work, and he really needs to be recognized for the work that he's doing, especially because it's pure and it comes from his heart. And you should just see how the kids look at him and they glow that he is that father figure for them. And I'm not going to call out his nickname online, but I've given him a nickname for the kids. But he stands to that nickname, and those kids love him, and it's just it's a testimony. And a lot of people do the level of the work, but I think a lot of people do the work for financial reasons. And to see someone doing the work not for financial reasons, but from his heart and giving back because of the differences that he went through as a child, and to give those beautiful kids another opportunity and to show them something different. It's just phenomenal. And Khalid, if you're not, you have to give yourself a pat on the back for all of me.
I appreciate you saying that. I just got to make sure one thing. You said you gave him a nickname. It better not be the one you gave me.
No, I'll go ahead and say it's Papa Bear. He might not want to say, but he is.
I like that. That fit him. Papa Bear. I love that.
He is Papa Bear. You should see how the kids' faces light up. It's like they seen Santa Claus.
Oh man, that is so cool. Hey, you know what? That fits him too. Cause I thought you was getting ready to say Big Brother. I'm Big Brother. but while we got Demetrius on the phone, tell them about your podcast real quick, and what are you doing?
Oh, absolutely. I have a podcast called Unfiltered Unspoken. We share actual life experiences of others in hopes that someone will connect with the life experience that we're sharing, so that they can start the journey to healing. And you can go on YouTube, just Google Unfiltered Unspoken Podcast, and while you're on there, Google People to People. Khalid is long, so I have to always repeat it, but follow Khalid as well. We're all sharing phenomenal things. And I also work with the youth as well, and Khalid has been a big contribution to that. And I want to thank you, my brother, for all your contributions you want to meet Khalid in person, I think he's gonna be there. I better not jump out there because I don't want to get in trouble. But July 8th, we're having a car show youth event, and if you want to meet Khalid there, come out and meet him. He's a wonderful person to meet. It's off Beach Road and Temple Hills in the empty parking lot. So you don't want to miss him. So yeah.
Hey, but that is so good. Also, what's the number that also that they can get in touch with you if they wanted to get on your program?
They can email me at Demetria DEMETRIA at unfilteredunspoken.com.
Okay. Again, this is a team effort that we move together. People who are probably just tuning in, we have Demetria on the phone from Good Fight, Unfiltered Unspoken. We have Khalid, who is a gentleman who's doing an amazing job in the community. So when y'all joining in, understand this ain't nothing we just popped up and just start doing. This is something we doing collectively, man, and this is a force that's to be joined and to be supported. If you don't want to be a victim on the subway getting robbed by a child, or you don't want to be carjacked, it's people like this man that's sitting here with me that's giving people, these young children, a purpose and an understanding of having morals and a sense of direction and learning about how to show respect because they have somebody like Papa Bear to look up to. Look, he got his name now. I done gave him his name. Hey, that that when I be introducing him, he gonna be looking at me like, don't call me Papa Bear. I'm not. Let me tell you something. We got a superhero in our midst, and I really salute you, bro. And this is. Go ahead, baby.
And I'm gonna give it back to y'all because I'm not here to steal the show. I just want people to know that Khaled's heart is of gold, and all that I see helping with people just genuinely. Sometimes I have to say, you need to chill out, go rest, go take a break, because it's like the female version and the male version, right? I see why people tell me to calm down, but I think he runs more than me. Just see him stopping and feeding everyone on Sunday, giving out free food, and he's out all day, and then he's contributing to me as well to make sure my household is okay, but he's riding around distributing food till it's all handed out, and I'm talking about it could be at 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday, but he's literally stopping at like 10 people's houses and down the gardens and contributing. It's not a lot of people with that heart, and people need to know, his heart is pure. It's pure as gold, as platinum, if you want to say. And that's Khalid. He's like a diamond, a rare diamond that you find in the mine. That's him, and he's sparkling. And it's for us to work together, because the three of us do work together, but to show his shine. And he has a lot of shine that people are missing the beauty of. So I just hope he can step in and support my brother.
Hey, I appreciate that, sweetie. I do. Again, you and us are a strong asset, and it was a pleasure. This is what I'm talking about, networking. You introduced me to him, and now him and guess what? Now we family. You know what I mean? So you got Big Brother and Papa Bear, and we got our baby sister with us. We call you baby sister. So we.
Yes, I do. I'm a problem too.
Well, and no, you're not, because hey, look, we were talking about you.
That's right.
We talking about how much we love you, how much we respect you. You feel me? So
I love y'all too, and I respect y'all.
So you when you talk about one of the hardest working girls in the neighborhood, girl, let me tell you something. You need to go somewhere and sit your butt down.
I can't help it. You tell Khalid to sit down.
Hey, no, all of us. I tell you, once we get to the big time, we gonna have to throw us a little big beach party,
yeah.
so we all can go sit down and just relax. But we still got work to do, baby. You already know.
We got a whole lot of work to do. So if y'all can support Khalid, hit his cash app up. Khalid Karim, Khalid, and there's a Y on the end of that. So y'all know by heart because we help raise funds for each other. I mean, he supports me more. So he does so much. It just can't go on.
Hey, say it again. Say it again, cause he ain't gonna say it. So what is it?
Look, he ain't gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it.
Go.
If you can please support this brother, he is giving so much to the kids in Potomac Gardens and families and distributing food and stuff to others to make sure that they eat. And he puts people before him all the time. He's very supportive. Please support him with the kids, everything that he's doing with the youth. Cash app Khalid Karim is KhalidKarimY. Support this brother. Your funds is going to go strictly to the youth, and I can tell you that from personal experience.
We thank you so much. We thank you,
My pleasure.
baby
I'm going to let
sister.
y'all go, my brothers.
We love you, babe.
I love y'all too.
As y'all know, man, this is amazing, man. This is just phenomenal. This is what inspires me. So I'm all over the place. I don't like to try to make commitments that I can't keep. A lot of times, my hands are full in different areas, and I'm not making any excuses. So that's why when it's something that I can offer, I do. It's something that I know I can manage. You have access to the studio, so that's one for sure. So whenever you're ready, what I want you to do is to get some kids together. Let's do a little powwow with them. If you want me to sit there and what you find, if you don't, I'm good with that because this is not about me.
Of course, I want you to.
Okay.
They know me, so they'll be it's, like I say, I definitely can get a couple of them in here, and I know they'll just have a ball. They're gonna look at pictures all day. They're gonna ask you questions. You know him?
Yeah. So
what do you do? Then they're gonna look at the TV like I'm on TV. So it's an honor, and I definitely.
So matter of fact, what you do is probably get a couple of kids, get their picture to me, so we can have their picture put on the flyer, so they can have something to brag about. But again, did you get his cash app correctly? Because I want you. I wanted. Can you put it in the?
I'm putting it in, but I need to say it one more time.
Tell her what it is.
It's the $.
$KHALID KARIM and the letter Y.
I did correct.
You got it. Okay. Now y'all hear that? We ain't even putting the people $, cash app up there today. You just heard us ask, if you see this program, send something to this brother. $5, $10, $500, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000. It's people out there that got money like that. That you might look and you want something to really invest in. It's an individuals like this brother right here that's doing something on a regular basis, not asking nobody for anything. He's sitting on a bucket of pride, and we talked about that, and he admitted it. And it's for us to sometimes help him break the pride down and put him in a position where we saying, you know what, let's help him. Let it not be us being selfish. So if you get on here, you see the cash app, send them $2 then. Send them $1. $1 starts off 1,000. $1 leads up to 1,000, 1 million. $50. Some people out here, when you think about it, you looking at a brother that's out here doing something for the community. And he said he feel like he owed him. He don't owe nobody anything. He could sit back and get a job and go sit down and eat McDonald's or Roy Rogers or whatever he wanted, and ain't nobody gonna look for him to do nothing. But what he does, he's in the position, he up in the community. We get ready to shut it down. You got 5 minutes real quick, a couple of minutes, however long it takes to tell the people something that's going to encourage them.
I've come across a lot of stories outside of my own, and I know that without a doubt, that the Most High, He's real. I try not to get religious, but I believe in God, and because of that, there are days when you're gonna struggle. There are days when you're gonna lay back and you're gonna not want to get out the bed. I know depression. I know what it feels to be depressed. I've seen guys in prison that did not leave their cells unless it was child call, and then I know guys that didn't want to leave their cells, even for child call, because they just gave up on life. And not everybody is in there for something extreme, right? So some people might say, oh, they prison, they deserve. Nah, you had guys in there for stealing cars and got 5 years for stealing 10, 15 cars and got raped by a guy that got 100 years, right? Did he deserve that? They're stealing cars, get him that. So, but I've seen guys and women fight, man, some tremendous odds. So I know that the human spirit is powerful. It's powerful. You got people that have been shot, stabbed, that have gone through wars. You got people that have been, just traumas, raped, molested, and just so much more. And they fight every day to do and be better themselves. And those that fight to help other people, to me, that's like extra. That's extra special. So we want everybody to save our kids. Gandhi said, "Be the change that you wish to see in the world." We must first be the change that we wish to see in the world. So I say dig deep. If you're raising your family, that's a blessing. But keep digging deep. Wake up and know that you can do and be better, and know that it's going to be appreciated by somebody. So thank you all for having me. I appreciate you all. People to people, awesome. And like I said, I look forward to being here and doing more with you all.
I appreciate you, bro. Much respect. Much respect, man. Hey, it's the People to People podcast here in Tyson's Corner, 1934 Old Gallows Road, Suite 304. Hey, come on out and see us sometime. You want to talk to us, you got a story to tell, get in touch with us. You can send emails out to us. It's Rodney, RODNEY, GPTP@yahoo.com. Don't forget to hit that app. Hit that cash app for this brother. Anybody that see this, go to YouTube, subscribe. Go in there, look at his YouTube. Check out what's going on. It's all about love. It's not about me, it's not about you, but it's all about us. In God we trust. Positive thinking people. Positive thinking people. Positive thinking people. Every Monday night. Every Monday. I'm excited about, we got July 23rd. You come out, we're going to do that. I'm going to put that on the flyer. So I'm going to ask, some people to donate some stuff so we can do something for you to leave with to bring back, Okay? So we can just promote that as we go. Okay?
Like I said, I definitely, when I take it to the gods, I'm going to shout you all out. You alive, when I hang it out to the kids. Like I said, I definitely appreciate it because, like you said, when I look at the kids, like, I've had people say, why you always take them to the store? Even one of the mothers, Miss Danielle, said, bro, how you walk from Muhammad? How much you spend?